Hey everyone, Trooper here. So in today's video, we're going to be doing an overall analysis. We're going to be looking at several different pairs. We're going to be doing top downs on those pairs. We're going to start off on BTC, then we'll go off into ETH, and we'll look at some of the other alt pairs as well that we've been looking at, such as XLM, which is our #1 large cap alt that we have on our radar, alongside ETH as well. And then some of our lower cap alts such as AGI, which I would consider to be a mid cap, and then we have P-Chain, which we're also looking at, which is around 17 minutes, so I'd consider that to be a small cap as well. So for right now, we're going to start off on the monthly time frame for BTC, and then we'll work our way down from there. I honestly think that this is probably the most important thing that's going on in terms of our high time frame analysis. Right now, as you can see, we have this monthly range. We've been in it for 4 months, pardon me, 5 months, if you include the first base of the candle, which creates the high and the low of the range. We have our range high right up here at 78.02 and our range low at 57.52. Range low has yet to be swept. This is something that we usually do see in accumulation ranges. We usually see that first the range high will get swept, and then that would allow liquidity for a downside move to range low, where that will be swept, and then bags will be filled at that level by institutional players, big players in the market, blah 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 blah, and from there we'll see upside. As you can see, we can go back to the 2014 bottom, and that's exactly what we saw. And I already have it drawn, so you can see it even better here. This is the monthly time frame, and over here we have our defined range high, which was formed at the bottom. And we also have our defined range low. Range low was at 166, range high was at 269, range EQ was at 217. The difference between our current monthly range and this range is that this range was hovering in the upper 50% for most of the time, and it actually saw a few deviations where the monthly closed above, but then it ended up sweeping range low either way, broke back within and sweep range low. But then as you can see, this candle then closed back above range EQ, and from there we saw a massive, just destroyed range high, and this high as well that was formed over here, this candle close high. And from there, bullish momentum continued forward. So that's exactly why I'm paying attention to the current monthly range as well. It's extremely important. In the monthly range that we've been in, we've been not really focusing on we haven't really been in any specific part of the range. We've obviously seen that June we saw we were below range low. Below range EQ. We moved all the way above range EQ, swept stops above range high. That allowed for liquidity for a pretty large down move down to range low, this was in August, which then closed above range EQ. And then we saw September, which broke below range EQ, and now we're trading below range EQ, and we've been doing so the majority of October. So what I'm personally anticipating when it comes to the monthly range is I'm anticipating that range low will get swept. I mean, at some point, if we're to see any significant upside, this level has to be tapped for liquidity. I don't think that bigger players in the market are going to leave this level resting while we have huge upside potential. It's just not something that I would think would happen, rationally speaking. Obviously, these are the concepts that I've employed in my trading for the entirety of my career, and it's something that I really pay attention to. I strongly believe that liquidity is something that attracts price in the market. It's especially in markets such as crypto, where it's less liquid as traditional markets. We still have these big players with huge amounts of money that need to fill their bags. They need to find levels where resting orders are pending, and in this case, this is the most significant bullish liquidity level that we could see in the market. And that's also a low. We can also see that November low is also a part of this liquidity pool. So that's what I think about the monthly time frame. Now let's move on into the weekly. Obviously, we have our June equal lows. This is our monthly range in terms of the weekly. As you can see, we're still trading lower 50%. We saw this last week. We saw a huge rejection off of range EQ, and now we're just still hovering below. As long as we're trading below, it seems likely that range low is next. That will finally take out these stops before moving back up. However, there is of course the possibility that we do see some type of movement like this where we'll break above EQ, test range high once again, excuse me, retest for resistance, probably break below, maybe trade below for a bit, where we just range under there. People may think short positions may start building there quite a bit since we're trading. And this is actually what Chase was talking about when we saw that lower time frame spring that led to a large up move. Well, it wasn't really a large up move, it was a significant up move, but Chase didn't really believe it to be a significant spring. And he was very right in that regard. It wasn't a real spring, and what would be a real spring is this is a move below this trading range, our monthly trading range. It's a higher time frame move, and that's what he was talking about as well. He wants to see a higher time frame spring, not a lower time frame spring, because those don't really provide any significance at all in terms of accumulation. So if we're considering this to be our accumulation range, then we have to consider that if range low is going to be swept, we're going to see some movement down there. Short positions would definitely build below because they consider this to be a brick wall of resistance once we break below this 6K level. And then from there, we'll likely continue to move up. I mean, I really don't see this. I don't see that being a bearish scenario where we break below range low and then continue downward. I think that a break below range low would simply be a sweep of stops. Okay. Now let's see what we have in our daily time frame. Again, this is our monthly range. This is daily. This is the daily time frame within our monthly range. As you can see here on our daily, we also have another range which we can point out. We can consider this to be some sort of accumulation or possibly even distribution. Remember, that's what ranging is. Whenever you see any ranging in the market, all it is either accumulation or distribution. It's a preparation, it's a stableness in the market, a quietness in the market that's simply preparing for a large move up or down. And you look at price action and try to determine whether this is accumulation or distribution. That's the main thing that we try to do as traders. However, that could be something that's very difficult to do overall. So here we have our daily range high at 65.89, range low, which was swept 2 times at 6100, and our range EQ at 63.42. So our last up move, which led to a break above EQ, was a bullish move. This level could definitely be seen as a support level. If you look over here on the 12-hour time frame, we have this 12-hour pivot right here, which I wouldn't doubt at all would serve as some support. And then we also have our daily pivot level, which is right under. Now, in regards to support or resistance, this is a valid level. Our 12-hour pivot right here at range EQ is a valid level, and we look toward range EQ for a retest of support if we're to continue ranging in the upper 50% of the range before a breakout of range high. So we'd be paying attention to this level. If we see a break and close on the 12-hour time frame, any of the hourly time frames, I would say above 4 hours, if we see that break and close below EQ, then we're going to be looking towards our daily pivot to be potential buyers. This low must hold. If this low right here, this daily pivot, does not hold, then I would consider the next target to be very clear, which would be below monthly range low over here at 57.52. Why would I think that? Because this is an extremely important low. I would anticipate this low to defend, and if it doesn't, I'd expect range low to be breached, and from there, the next clear target would be liquidity at 57.51. There's really nothing else there. I mean, we do have this daily block over here with EQ at this level, but then again, I'm saying that this level, this pivot over here needs to hold. We've already seen a bounce off of this daily block. We've seen it tested multiple times. If we're to have any bullish reaction off this level, which we did see initially, we're going to want this pivot to hold. If this pivot doesn't hold, then we're definitely going to be seeing 57.51, the 5700 range we're going to be taking liquidity down there. Again, this would likely be a bullish move, at least in the midterm scheme of things, as I would consider this to be simply a sweep of stops at monthly range low before I move higher. Then again, we'll see. It's extremely important that we remain patient here because anything could happen. However, that's exactly what I'm thinking as for now. Our daily range, we're still within daily range. So it's important that we remain patient, watch for support, and just see where price breaks to next. If we see a nice clean break above range high, and then possibly our next target would very likely be 67.80. Once monthly EQ is broken to the upside, if we see a monthly break and close, weekly break and close above that level, I consider it to be bullish. If we start trading in upper 50%, I'd look towards range EQ for a retest for a potential long position as well. We just have to see what happens from here. We're still trading in the lower 50% of our monthly range, so it's extremely we're an extremely critical level, and we really have to pay attention to these levels over here. As you can see, monthly range EQ has served as a level of resistance multiple times. It found rejection over here back in July, rejection again in August, rejection in September, and now being rejected again in October. So again, once we do find that weekly or monthly break and close above this level, monthly would be the most optimal, and we begin trading in range upper 50%, I consider that nothing but bullish, and I'd be a longer there. I'd be a buyer. Other than that, I'd wait toward a sweep of range low before looking to build some serious long positions, because I still strongly believe that that low could be swept before there's any significant upside in the market. I mean, it's just such a compelling level of liquidity. We have our June equal lows, August low, September and October lows, just compiling above that level. It's pure liquidity, and I'd expect that level to be breached before we see any significant upside. Alrighty, so that's Bitcoin. Now let's move on into ETH, and then we'll get into some other alts. So let's go on to ETH over here, and let's look at the weekly time frame on the Bitfinex chart. Let's just clear this all up. Okay, so as you can see, ETH is building quite a bit of support right over this weekly block. Doesn't seem that we've broken a below EQ, which is a very bullish sign, especially since we've taken stops below this low. September of 2017 rated fully into our bullish weekly order block. Range EQ was not broken. As you can see, range EQ is like somewhere over here around 181. There was no break and close below range EQ. This is very bullish. It's a very bullish reaction to our weekly order block. Okay, now we can move down from the weekly into the daily time frames. And also, let's move back to the weekly just so you can see here. This is our SFP line. This is our swing failure line. As you can see, we saw no closes below, and then we saw a retest and a bounce off that SFP line. That's a decent sign for now. We're just watching it, but let's see what we get. Now, I'm going to be deleting this weekly order block because we really don't need that. But that's just to see the higher time frame premise. Over here, you can see a clear range high. We can see a clear range low. Range EQ would be somewhere around there. Once we regain range EQ and start trading in range over 50%, that would be bullish. I'd anticipate a move to this supply zone from there, and that's just because we have our daily supply right here, which has already been tested quite a bit. I mean, we've seen 1, 2, 3 tests of this supply zone range high already. I'd expect that if we do break and close above range EQ on the daily, we will find this supply zone right here broken. And then next logical target would be the supply zone above range high and possibly even higher. I'd probably anticipate that if we do see that break and close, we'd most likely get some sort of ranging above range high. So if we get some sort of thing, then over here we may see some ranging before another higher move. If we see some major rejection at this level and then a move back within range, that would be very bearish. I wouldn't like that at all. I'd consider that to be very weak. If we're going to see a break above range high, I want to see it hold above there, and then I want to see a move above this supply zone. Once we move above that supply zone, it's going to be a pretty quick and easy path back to 400 to 450, and even close to 500. I don't consider that to be impossible at all, and for that reason, that's why we have our current long position. We have bids set at this daily bullish pivot, which is right above range low. If there's going to be a level that holds, it's going to be this level. There's no way that range low is going to, there's no way that we're going to see a break and close below this level and then see range low hold. I would consider that to be very, very, very unlikely. If we're going to see this level hold, we're going to see it hold above range, above order block EQ, which is right here around 198. And this is on Bitfinex, so the prices differ on BitMEX. If we see this low, if we don't see this low defend and it breaks, then we're going to be easily heading straight to our low at 167. Why do I say that? It's because this is the daily pivot that formed right above our range low. This is, if it's going to be any more confluence, there's no way that we're going to have any more confluence in that. It's a strong, clear, well-defined bullish pivot / order block with a down move, which came right before this large up move. We're going to see that level hold if it's anywhere bullish, and if we're going to really retest range EQ around 223 and then retest supply around 242 and possibly range high at 255, then this is the level that's going to be holding. It's not going to be anything else. This is our main demand level. As you can see, we can find that same pivot if you want a 12-hour. It's right over here. Have that same pivot. If you want the 4-hour, same pivot. We want to see that level hold. If it doesn't hold, we would be pretty bearish, and I'd consider the next move to be easily back to 167. Alrighty, so from here, let's just move back into some of the smaller cap alts. No, I'm sorry, let's go straight into XLM, since that's still one of the larger caps that we're looking at for a higher time frame position, swing position. So I'm looking over here on Binance. Okay, so let's take a look at XLM BTC. Let's look at the weekly. So first of all, I want to show, just like I mentioned in my analysis earlier today, pardon me. Just like I shared in my analysis earlier today, I believe XLM to be one of the best looking pairs in terms of price action. And if you look at XLM BTC, it just looks absolutely clean. You go to the weekly time frame, look at the line chart, you'll see that these highs are so clean. We've seen these higher lows form every single time one of these highs form. We see a dump. All we've seen during the length of this entire bear market is just these very nicely formed higher lows. It just makes me think that this thing is setting up for quite a move, and that has to be in the near-term future, because it seems like it's getting to the apex of its accumulation or consolidation. Now, if we move back to the candles over here, you can see that we have a very well-defined weekly range. You consider a monthly range as well. Right now, we've actually broken to the upside of this monthly range. We've broken to the upside of monthly range EQ. I consider it bullish if we can maintain a monthly close above EQ. That would be very bullish. And if we see this weekly close above EQ as well, I'd be a buyer anywhere in the upper range and get ready for a move above this high, and possibly even to sweep this high as well. Why do I think that? Well, it's pretty clear. We've seen a low, then we saw a higher low, right? And then after this low, what do we get? A high, So it went low, high, higher low, higher high. So we're kind of seeing this bullish trend form on the weekly market structure with the higher lows and the higher high. If we're going to complete that, I'd want to see a break above, a break and close above EQ. And if we do see that, I'd anticipate ranging in our upper 50% before I break above to finish our market structure, to continue going along with our current market structure and make another higher high. I'd anticipate that if we're going to have a higher low, it's going to hold somewhere around here, then we'll have a higher high over here, and we'll definitely, very likely, take out liquidity at these highs at around 5,000 satoshis and 6,000 satoshis as well, which is all-time high. It just looks like a very clean consolidation. It looks ready for major upside. Just notice, however, though, that range low, similar to many accumulation patterns that we're seeing in the market right now, range low has yet to be taken. These stops are still there. And usually when we see accumulation ranges, as I said in the beginning of this video, we have price raid range low. And when price raids range low, it allows for a ton of liquidity to be engineered in the market. It allows for large bags to be filled, which is the main intention in the market. And from there, I'd anticipate that to be a bullish move. I'd be a buyer. Definitely below range low. I'd definitely look to be a buyer because we do still have some lower time frame support there, and that liquidity level being so significant, I probably wouldn't let it slip without being a buyer there. I'd definitely start filling some bids there. Other than that, as we're looking here on the daily, we did see a break above weekly range EQ, monthly range EQ. However, when we're looking at a higher time frame range, we need to make sure that we're looking at the appropriate time frames for the closes above range high, above range low, or above or below range EQ. Because this could very well be a falsehood. We could have this break and close on the daily above range EQ. However, if we're not getting that weekly or monthly break and close, then it's way less significant, and you could very well find yourself just trading back below EQ again, despite this little close above. So patience here is definitely going to be rewarded, guys. It's important that we remember that. If support is found here, so let's say we do have this little order block right here just below range EQ. If some support is found there, and we begin trading in the upper range 50%, I'll be a buyer here. I'd honestly look to be a buyer here with a stop just below range EQ, and below this demand zone. It's a pretty tight stop, especially for a spot position. And if it continues ranging, I'd anticipate a break above range high. As I said earlier, a continuation of the trend with a new higher high to take out stops above 5,000 satoshis. However, if that didn't come into fruition, that'd be perfectly fine. I mean, it's a great RR trade either way once we're trading in range up to 50%. But if it doesn't come to fruition, then that'd be perfectly fine. And then I'd simply look for another trade back here below range. So I'd look to buy right here, as I said earlier, because I consider that, as I've been saying, when it comes to accumulation ranges, when we see a spring, it's going to be a break below range low. Don't get yourself fooled into thinking that we're going to start seeing these massive lows, and just because it broke below range low, we're going to go all the way down to 1,600 satoshis or something ridiculous like that. We've been seeing bullish price action this entire way. It'd be very unlikely to just see some major dumpage and breaks below. This demand zone has been clearly defined, especially on the higher time frames for this pair. So it looks absolutely beautiful. So let's just wait for our confirmation. Let's wait for a higher time frame confirmation, especially on the weekly and monthly. Let's pay attention to our daily levels and see what price action does there. See where it heads. See if it finds some low time frame support at this order block and begins trading in range up to 50%. Okay, guys. Now we're going to be moving on into AGI. Okay, so AGI is another one. I consider this to be one of the better looking pairs when it comes to accumulation ranges that have been forming over the past few months. So it's been pretty much ranging since August for the past 3 months, nothing but pure sideways. The other day we saw a nice strong bounce off of range low. So by the way, this is an accumulation range which did have stops taken below range low. Then once we saw that retest of range EQ, we saw a very sharp down move, which went right into range low. Not a lot of people were buyers here, at least retail-wise, because it looked very clear that range EQ was providing a ton of resistance, and we could have very well seen a dip below range low once again to take out stops below here. However, that appeared to be some sort of like spring-like action, where range low was tested, and from there we saw an immediate bounce up, and we saw a slight close above range high. However, it didn't fully hold, and now we're trading back within range. However, we're in range upper 50%, which is a very bullish signal. Price action is looking good. If we're looking at this daily block, we've been holding above the EQ of this daily block very well. No closes below whatsoever. Just a bunch of wicks into that level. And as you can see, we saw a sharp down move into this daily order block. However, we've just been able to maintain ourselves so far, and now we're currently retesting the top of this order block for some support on the 12-hour. And you know that this is a significant level. Why is this a significant mitigation level? It's an order block that was formed right over here at range EQ. We saw a test of it, rejection. Saw another test of it, rejection. Saw a slight test of that demand right over here as well, rejection. So after multiple rejections, after multiple taps, that's how you know that a level is going to be a significant level on a retest. If it provided a bunch of resistance one way, and it breaks above that level, you can expect that level to provide a ton of resistance. A ton of support. It's just general market, the way price action moves. So yep, from here for AGI, apologies for the brain fart, but here for AGI, again, we're going to be looking for a daily close above range high. This level looks like to be holding, and I may fill the position here. However, I really want to see altcoin market cap confirm a break and close above range EQ, and I'll be going over altcoin market cap as well in this video. I really want to see that break above range EQ for altcoin market cap to really begin filling some bags with confidence, because until then, it seems possible to me that either price continues ranging or even possibly falls back below range EQ, begins trading at the lower parts of the range, which becomes a riskier position at that point. So I'm patiently waiting here, guys. Let's see what the altcoin market cap does, which I'm going to be going over now, and then we'll figure things out. Nonetheless, though, as I stated previously, a break and close above range high will have us retesting this level once again, which is our daily supply zone, which we break off of this rejection right here. I'd anticipate that once we break above range high, this supply zone would be toast. We'd have a pretty clear sky all the way back up to this level right over here, at around 1,589 satoshis, 1,500 satoshis. This would be the main target level after we break above this supply zone. Alrighty, everyone. So now let's start moving into. Let's look at P-Chain for a quick second. This is not going to be one that's going to take long. This is going to be fairly quick. As you can see, this is probably some of the cleanest price action I've seen on any altcoin. Just beautiful curves, slow downward, curving momentum, volume dropping on the way down as price is going down. Just a bullish sign. And now we had this accumulation range over here, which formed on the daily. We saw sideways price action for quite a bit since September, early September, ranging, test of range high, rejection, test of range high, rejection, and then a move above range high. This is that bullish move that we were looking for. And now that we got it, it's pretty fair to say that a nice position would be to buy, and very good RR as well. Very good risk to reward on this one. Would simply be to buy the retest of range high, stop below the daily pivot, with our next target being 61% from that range high level. Very good risk to reward on this. If range high were to fail, we'd be looking towards this daily pivot, which is just below range high. Pardon me for this. This is really annoying. Whatever. Okay. Leave it there. You can put a nice tight stop just below this pivot. There's no need to give it much more room. This is a very well-defined pivot. There's no need for it to go below it. And then, and yeah, from there I'd anticipate a move to this level up here, this supply zone up here. That's just a very good RR position. If we see that this daily pivot fails, I'll cut my position early and expect that we'd probably run range low and maybe even lower. As you can see on the 4-hour though, we are heading down to test that level quite quick. So I'll be staying patient. I have no bids set at the moment. They may be entered soon. That will be updated upon in our entries channel, of course, as always. Just watching for now though, guys. This could be a very good RR position for a good 61% move and possibly even a higher move, close to 2x at over 100% at this, around 66,000 satoshis. All right, now from here, let's move on into altcoin market cap. Okay, so for altcoin market cap, let's just look at the daily real quick. Okay, so on the daily, as you can see, we were looking for a while price was actually ranging above here. We were looking at range low and the daily pivot, which formed that range low, to be the primary level we'd be looking for a bounce. And it seems that we got the bounce that we were looking for. We never rated that last low, which was right above range low and range EQ. However, we saw a strong bounce off that level, then a nice down move, and then an even stronger bounce off the retest. And then this down move created a daily pivot, which I'm looking for on ETH and BTC as well for long positions, because I'm expecting that this level must hold. Otherwise, we'll be heading towards range low and possibly even lower. However, this is the level that definitely must hold. As of right now, we're ranging below range EQ. Once we get that break above EQ, I'd consider that to be very bullish price action. I'd expect this red zone up here to be toast. I'd expect range high to be toast, and from there, I'd anticipate that we would reach at the very least, this supply zone up here. And you could define it as an entire range. I can go on the weekly and look at that. However, I'd pretty much say that these would be the main targets. This support zone, this high, and then the high that follows on a break of this red zone. First step to looking towards a break of this red zone, as I just said, would be a break above range EQ. Once we get that break above range EQ, I'd be looking to enter the all positions that we've been looking at with a lot more confidence. Just looking for this confirmation first before making any major moves. If we look here on the 4-hour as well, there's some levels that are worth looking at. Not only do we have this 4-hour pivot obviously that formed, but we have this up move before the down move, which took out stops, which we can consider that to be a breaker. And if we do draw a simple little pivot extension, we can see that this level has very nice confluence with 705. I don't have 705 drawn on here because this isn't trading view. However, 705 is right in between the 62 and the 79, so that's perfect confluence with this breaker. If we see a drop into that level, I'll be watching for this breaker to hold, and if it holds, I definitely anticipate a retest of range EQ. And again, if we break range EQ, that is when I'd be looking for to make some very definite alt plays. I'd probably look for a position in XLM, AGI, and the other smaller cap alts that I've been looking at. Obviously, I'm not going to overexpose myself, and that's not something that I'm planning on doing, and something that you shouldn't be doing. You definitely should not be doing either. However, that does not mean that there is no opportunity in the market, especially if we see that type of confirmation where altcoin market cap breaks above this very important resistance level. We can definitely start preparing ourselves and position ourselves in small coins that we believe could have some potential for up move during a potential bullish market in altcoins. Very simple, guys. So confirmation is always first. We have to remain patient. Don't FOMO. It's ridiculous. There's no point. We still have these levels to break. And once we do, then we can have that full confirmation to go right ahead and enter the all positions that we've been looking at for the past few months. Alrighty guys, so I've covered BTC, I've covered ETH, I've covered altcoin market cap, I've covered Chain, and I've covered AGI. If you guys have anything else that you want me to cover in the next video, please let me know through DM. If you have any comments on this video, please let me know as well. I apologize for the lagging. It's a 35-minute video, and sometimes when I do my analysis, my mind wanders a little bit. And when I keep rambling and I'm saying these things that I know are important, however, sometimes I just get a little bit lost. This is obviously something that's going to be fixed in the next videos as I continue to produce more video content. I'm not the best at it yet, but I'm sure it will improve. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any requests for the next video, please throw them to me in DM or tag me in the chat channels and let me know what you want me to cover, and I'll cover it. If you have any comments on this video, anything you think that I can improve upon for the next one, please let me know as well. This is only for your benefit, and I only want this for your benefit. This is why I'm doing it. I do like to stick to my written content. However, I know that many of you do appreciate the videos and you like to take advantage of that and watch the videos whenever you can. So that's exactly what I'm doing here for you guys. Again, any comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, etc., 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 just let me know. Feel free to let me know at any time, and I will work on whatever it is that you recommend. Alrighty, guys. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.